How's it going, everybody? Ragiroth here, joined with Mark Yoon.
What's up? What's up?
So they surprised us today, and we're getting a Mortal Kombat 1 reveal at DreamCon. I paused it, and I think they're about to do the reveal, so let's unpause it. I don't have it live, so yeah.
You mean something exclusive?
Yes, Mortal Kombat and Mountain Dew said, hey, let's give a little something on the exclusive variety for those people at DreamCon.
Oh, boy.
Let's go ahead and check it out.
Oh, it's probably Reptile. No, never mind.
Gyris, my old friend. It's been eons. It's good to see you.
I kind of knew he was here because, like, Rashad already told me he was going to be here.
Yeah.
Is my highest calling.
I was not looking forward to Gyris, I'll be honest.
Like, Dodge like play tested him, so like I knew he was going to be in the game.
Yeah. I guess he looks all right.
You can be disappointed. You don't have to always be optimistic. Like, you can be like, you can say this is shit.
Well, no, I mean, because Gyris is a character I don't like hate him. He's just kind of like meh.
You're apathetic to him.
Yeah.
Celestial object which lies beyond.
I would have much rather Collector from the MK11 guys.
Collector got nothing in the game he was wielding. I don't know why he'd be in a new one.
Yeah.
He did like nothing in that game. Like Ferritor, like fucking Tor got killed. So
wait, who is that? Is that oh, that's Darius. Okay.
Darius.
The
one character from 3D era that nobody cares about.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Oh,
what is Darius' moveset like? I don't even remember.
I have watched you with the hourglass.
He like
you are relishing your.
He had like these cool claws. All right, please show somebody else.
It's like the Dead or Alive commercial from the like 2000s. She kicks high.
Those with power must know how to use it wisely.
When you restarted history, you altered the destinies of certain malefactors.
See, he said restarted history, but everyone said that he created the universe.
Is a complex endeavor.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Your vision of peace may already be compromised.
Of course, this guy gets so much like gameplay, but not like.
The story just doesn't make sense at all.
What the hell? Oh shit! I guess that's Liu Kang's fatality. Oh, that's kind of sick.
Was Gyris it?
Yeah, I had a feeling it was only gonna be one today. Oh man.
Did we already know about Gyris?
We did. I mean, we technically did, but he wasn't revealed.
Oh,
Okay.
Why do they get so excited? I hate that. I mean, if I was getting paid, I'd probably do it too.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh my god, no, what? Gyris! Oh, I never played as him.
Let me stop.
That's crazy.
There we go. Yeah, that was a boring reveal. I mean, I knew he was in the game, but I think he should have been somebody I think revealed with some more exciting characters. And anybody that likes Gyris, congrats, glad you got Gyris back. But I was kind of very apathetic to him. I think in terms of a new MK11 character, I think Collector was far more interesting. And if you wanted an Earthbender character, you literally had Tremor. I don't know why they're just shitting on Tremor now, but
Well, we can't have ninjas in this game apparently because they all changed to magicians and other types of things.
Yeah, I'm sure Tremor would look pretty different. So, I mean, he already looked pretty different in MKX, and in Mortal Kombat Snowblind, he looks even more different. So, I don't know. I think I feel like he was just put in for story reasons.
Who's the Taika Waititi character from Thor? Shit, what's his name? The Rock guy from Thor Ragnarok, and
Korg, I think.
yeah, he would just look like Korg, I would think, in this game.
Oh man.
I don't know. Like, here's my thing with like this game, and I'm gonna say it here and be as nice and gentle as possible. There are a lot of things about this game that are just not not for the fans. Let's just say that. Like, I feel like everything that's here is like, I don't want to say rushed, and I really want. I mean, like, if you don't see me shit talk Mortal Kombat, watch my channel. I'm not gonna do that on Rich's channel because Rich actually likes Mortal Kombat, and I did up until like Mortal Kombat like 11.
You like X more than 11?
Huh? Yeah, I did.
You liked X more than 11?
Yeah. Maybe because the movement speed was faster and the actual gameplay was a little bit better, like with combos and stuff. I didn't like the whole variation system, but the movement speed was a big thing for me. And Mortal Kombat 9 was like probably the pinnacle for me. Mortal Kombat Armageddon's my favorite because of character creation and stuff.
But would you say the gameplay in Armageddon is better than 11?
No, the gameplay in Armageddon sucks, and I admit that, especially with like a creative fatality.
And I mean, I'm saying this is someone that did like Armageddon and would play it if I had the opportunity. But it's like, definitely isn't aged the best.
I mean, the online servers are still online. You can actually still play Armageddon. Crazy. Yeah, but I don't know, like I think I've just been like so like, okay, so my relationship recently with like Mortal Kombat 11 in particular was like, I was really excited for it when it came out. I played it for about a week and then I got dropped it because it was boring. The gameplay was like way worse than it's been. The movement speed was slow. I hated the crypt system. It's like, why can't we just like choose tombstones? We got to go through this whole like fake story mode in which we could have actually used these assets to make it like an open world story mode for the characters to go through, like we did with like the 3D era. But no, we have to do like a kind of like we're just opening crypts kind of thing.
I mean, I like the crypt, but I can definitely say there were things that definitely could have been
done. Do you like the crypto, or would you have liked it better if they actually allocated those assets to a story mode in which you were actually free roaming and doing part of the story? Because they had a pretty open, decent area for the crypt.
That would have been cooler. Oh, I definitely agree.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm never saying like what they did was bad. I'm saying like what I would rather have had, right?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I would have much rather had like an open area, not open world, but like an open area kind of exploration thing, like we saw with like Deadly Alliance and Deception, Armageddon, and had that kind of story mode with those kind of allocation. Like I like how they did the cinematic story, like they always do from 9 and up, or actually 8 and up, but the writing just fell off for me. And like it really disassociated me with the franchise in general, because 9 I was so in love with, and it got me close to characters I didn't give a crap about, like Cabal. And then like all of a sudden, like 10 took away all of the character development and was like, no, it's back to the status quo. Like everything that you knew, just forget about that. Like, yeah, we rebooted it, but now we're gonna reboot it again, basically by like doing the complete opposite of what like everything happened in 9. And then Ed Boon had an interview where he said that like this is the 4th reboot, and that just like kind of like reintroduced that thought into my head. And then, like I said in this video, like Iris straight up said you recreated the timeline, right? He straight up said that in this trailer. Mm-hmm. But Ed Boon straight up said that he recreated the universe, which is a totally different thing from recreating the timeline. Like resetting the timeline is totally separate from recreating the universe. And I tend to go with that more than what we saw in this trailer, because like we had that grain of sand that exploded into like a singularity from like the first trailer. And then Ed Boon saying umpteen times that like this was like Liu Kang's universe and he is a Titan and he recreated the universe. There's just a lot of stuff going on where I'm just like, just give me answers, please. Like, I don't even care if the story is crap at this point. Just give me answers. Like, I want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I guess, like, somebody can say, like, well, just play the game. You don't know the answers. But I'm like, yeah, well, $70 is a lot of money to, like, when Spider-Man's coming out in a month, to tell me to spend money on a story where I don't know about, which should have been Injustice 3 and, like, is built on the back of Injustice 3. You know what I'm saying? it's like I know I'm being overly negative right now, and I accept that, and I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, I hear you. I hear you with some things. I mean, I think with the whole what Ed Boon said and what Gira said, I think it's probably just like it's like semantic. I don't want to say semantics. I think it's just like different wordings, and maybe they consider the timeline the whole universe. I'm not sure.
Well,
I mean,
resetting a timeline is totally different than like creating a universe.
I just don't. They probably just don't see it that way.
So they're dumb.
You know,
like the writers are stupid. Like that's the only explanation. Because like
a lot of people seem to have that opinion on the writers. No, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but
I mean I agree with you guys. But I'm saying like if you're talking about it from a standpoint of like semantics, I can kind of adhere to that, except for the point that like Gearus just straight up blew that out of the water for me. Like this is the first time I've seen this trailer. Like as for you, right?
Yeah.
And he straight up said, "You reset the timeline, yet you're allowing all this to happen." But Ed Boon has said this is Liu Kang's universe. He recreated the universe. He created this universe. Liu Kang is a Titan. He said it twice in interviews. Twice. He's a Titan, and he created this universe. I mean, I guess that's like not a juxtaposition for you with like the semantic kind of argument, but it's like the difference between a Titan and like an Elder God is huge, right? The difference because like Titans have Elder Gods for babies. Like Kronika had Shinnok as a baby. So it's like
yeah.
Yeah, that was like her baby. So it's like the difference between those two beings in this world, and then like the story being like Liu Kang created all this stuff is just crazy to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm caring way too much about it, and I guess I'm getting like way too lost in the weeds, but
I think it's just kind of just like I've kind of just come to the realization that like, you know, as I've said, NetherRealm Studios, they have the Nintendo problem where they just feel like they have to change things all the time. And I think I've kind of just like I'm trying to accept that that's just how it's going to be. I'm just kind of along for the ride, you know. You know, if what I see is cool, you know, it's cool to me. If it's going to change, then I'd like it not to, but I don't know.
So you're going for complacency then? Because like I actually think it's the opposite of. I think it's exactly apt that it's Nintendo. I think it's the opposite way though. I think they're not being innovative. They're not changing things. I think they're staying with the status quo, and that's their problem.
It's like they definitely stay with the status quo with certain things. I do agree there.
Because Nintendo is like, we need to change like how you play the game. Mortal Kombat is like,
well, I think Mortal Kombat does both. They do it with the story and also gameplay and features. I notice because there's certain features that people want to come back, and they just don't want to bring them back, and they'll introduce new features that are maybe some are well received, some are not, and it's just like just bring back the features we want, like, bruh.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I think that like they're backed by Warner Brothers Games, which is owned by Discovery Plus. They're too rich to fail. They're not really going to give a shit about like what people have to actually say because like people are going to buy the game regardless.
Well, to be fair though, one big thing people didn't want or people wanted to break from was the whole special forces militaristic thing. And I do think from what we've seen so far, they have definitely gone back to the more like kind of kung fu sort of fantasy a little bit. And I definitely appreciate that. And I mean, a lot of people have also been asking for like, you know, 3D era characters and stuff. And it seems like we're at least getting a little bit more of those. So, I mean, I do think they do listen. It's just they're selective with their listening. That's the thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird because like Ed Boon said in an interview that they came up with a cameo system in a matter of months based on like what the Discovery team came to them with and saying like, oh, we want Kung Lao's hat to follow him and we want a drone to follow Sonya Blade. And then they came back later and said, actually, we could turn these into buddies and people. And then they said, why don't we make these Mortal Kombat characters? And then they'll actually like fight with you. And then that turned into a combat system. But as people on my channel aptly put out, we've had this since MK9. Like with towers, like we've had like this kind of pseudo tag system with like characters showing up in like towers and stuff since MK9. So it's like, is it really a new system that you developed in months, or is it something you've built up over time in the background, or is it something that like you just put aside? Like, what is it exactly?
I think because it was more of a side thing at first, and now it's just more of the primary focus of the game. Because I mean, I will say, like, I'm a person that's not really that big on assists myself. They do seem like they can do a little bit more than say like an assist in Dragon Ball Fighters or like an assist in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, something like that. They have like a few different moves. They're in the front throw and they're part of the fatal blow and they have their own fatality. I admittedly wasn't expecting all of that. With that said, though, I think they could have at least put some of that effort into certain other things.
Well, they should have just made a full tag to begin with.
Yeah, I 100% agree there. That's definitely my biggest gripe with the cameos is I just wanted tag, and instead you're giving me something. This is exactly what I mean. We just want this one feature, but you guys just are so stubborn that like, oh, not enough people played it.
I mean, honestly, I'd be a lot more hyped for the game if it had a year left to cook, and they gave us full tag with all these characters, as opposed to like someone who comes in and does a block or a grab. Like we've had this shit since like Storm 1, so it's not exactly like new. It's not like breaking on the frontier of like gameplay. Maybe on the 2D space, but like it's certainly not like the first time we've had this in fighting games, like at all.
Yeah.
I'm being an old man yelling at the clouds. I really am. Like you're correct, and I should be hype about this, and for some reason I'm not. I think it's because we were expecting Injustice 3, and then we got all those rumors about like Ed Boon buying up like Marvel properties for licensing and having a possible Marvel vs. DC fighting game.
Yeah.
And then finding out that WB was going up for sale, and then them saying that like they need to make a Mortal Kombat game because like Discovery Plus was interested in purchasing them, but the price that they wanted would have been less if they went Injustice versus Mortal Kombat. So they forced out Mortal Kombat clearly based on an Injustice skeleton with like the clash system in the beginning and all that stuff. Even the way the graphics and the gameplay looks, even running on Unreal Engine 4, which Ed Boon swears to God is like a revelation for them, which games have been coming out for Unreal Engine 5 for the past like 2 years now.
Well, it's a revelation for them because they've been using 3.
Yeah, they suck. Like, I really don't want to be this negative. Like, it's just like Mortal Kombat used to be an innovator. They used to be the one that you were not allowed to play. Your parents were like, you can't play that game. Like, and the government was going crazy about it and making newsreels about it, how like it's detrimental to our youth. Like this was like the thing. And then the 3D era, they were still innovative by making these like completely exclusive like story like spaces where like you can actually like run around as like your character and go throughout the entire years, like Shujinko. They did that way before Shifu did. The story that like spanned like the entire trilogy of that concept with the mini games built in, like Puzzle Fighter and the kart game and the chess fighter. It was just like such a like a happy time to be a Mortal Kombat fan. And then Mortal Kombat 8 came out, aka Mortal Kombat vs. DC, which they then retrofitted to be Mortal Kombat 8 after Mortal Kombat 9 came out. Am I wrong? Like, am I saying anything is wrong so far?
No, it is considered MK8 as far as I know.
Right, we didn't consider that MK8 until MK9 came out, right? And they were like,
"Yeah,
this is MK9," and we're like, "Well, wait, where's MK8?" I guess it's Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and they never actually officially like talked about that. So it's like, okay, I guess that the DC universe is now a part of the Mortal Kombat universe. Cool. Even though that game kind of sucked, like it wasn't great.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think MK vs. DC's gameplay was maybe a little better, but it's just like everything else was just like not good.
It was better at the time for sure. I think
it was better at the time.
Now, yeah,
it was better than the other 3D era games at the time. But then MK9 came out and just kind of blew that away. So yeah,
MK9 was such a good game. Like in terms of story, in terms of writing, in terms of combat, like even the characters they chose for that game, like the cinematic like story that they decided to tell, like that was great. And then MKX just like went back on everything that they saw out to do, you know. And I just liked it because they had like Freddy in it and like Alien, and like I was like, I don't know, I was so enamored by like the guest characters that like I like kind of foregone the entire story in and of itself. And then 11 came out, and I was like, this is so hype. I'm so excited about it. and then I kind of just dropped it, and then picked it up again when Spawn came out, and still play it to this day. But it's not like I'm happy about it. Like Aftermath sucked.
See, I disagree. I love the Aftermath.
But they wrote themselves into a corner. That's like saying that like Soul Calibur 5 was awesome. Like from a writing standpoint, like you're a writer, okay? So like right? Like you have to give yourself room to grow.
But yeah.
Right, but you have to give yourself room to grow. So like if you're going to write a creation of a story, it either has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? It's the hero's journey, like that's the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to give yourself an end, you have to give yourself an end. You can't just like write yourself into a corner and then say this isn't the end and automatically then have to retrofit that to being the end. That's my point. Which Mortal Kombat 11 did. And I think Aftermath did a good job of tying up the loose ends that 11 had open. But I don't think it was good storytelling.
I mean, I was just happy because it actually focused on some characters that you don't get to see focus on much, and you got to actually see, you know.
I get that. I agree with you. I always though think that that's like your main focus though is on characters as opposed to like, I know you're concerned with gameplay and stuff like that as well, but like you're a big stickler for the characters that you want to see in the game. Like if like Rain or like Smoke or like any of those characters are actually a noob or a Cybot or any of those are in the game, like you go crazy about it. But for me, I'm just like, okay, cool. I like that they're in the game, but how do they play? What do they look like? Like, what are their what's the implications of them being in the game? I'm more of a lore guy, I guess, as opposed to like which characters I want to see. Because like my favorite characters, I don't care if they're going to be in, as long as I get characters that I will relate with in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, like I do admit that. But like I mean, there's a bunch of characters I like. So like, you know, for instance, for MKX, like that was missing a lot of my favorites. So that's kind of why like I was maybe a little harder on that game, but I still found characters I like. You know, I love Reptile, I love Melina. I grew to really like Aaron Black and Takeda. I got Tremor. I guess it still just was. Well, I think it didn't help it ended on such a crappy note because it's like Combat Pack 2 was the last one, and like Triborg was cool, but like I would rather those characters have been separate and get Human Smoke. And of all of the 3D era characters that were not playable in that game, they picked Bo Rai Cho. That was just
no, that was stupid.
That was horrible.
I think it was because like Bo Rai Cho was set up in like the 3D era as like the.
Well, I think that they've shown that they kind of like Bo Rai Cho. He was the only 3D era guy, or he wasn't the only one. He was one of the only ones that was in Deadly Alliance that actually came back in Deception. And I think maybe just because his concept is just easier to work with because he's like a drunken fighter, which is a common trope in
Well, Epyon even said like when it comes to fatalities, like they get a lot of gruesome stuff that they like actually turn away because it's too realistic. And their main outlier for fatalities is if it's funny or not. Like Epyon said that in an interview. And he was like, so there's things that are like just too gross and we won't even cut out. And I think Bo Rai Cho completely like emits their kind of thing. It's like the old style Kung Fu 1980s, like Kung Fu style, like films thrown in with like, you know, the drunken boxer, which is easy to replicate, like you said, as a trope. And then the fatalities can be comedic, like vomiting on people until they turn into bones. Which is like the epitome or the epitome, I should say, because that's the actual pronunciation of the word of what, you know, Mortal Kombat is. And, you know, there's a lot of people that say that like I hate Mortal Kombat because like I shit on it so much, but it's like that's not the case. It's like I love Mortal Kombat. I just like want it to be better. And I feel like if you don't criticize things that you love, they're always going to stay complacent and they're never going to urge to be better. Because I'm telling you right now, like whenever I cover a Mortal Kombat game on my channel, the most toxic people that come onto my channel are Mortal Kombat fans.
Hell, you know what? I mean, I remember some of my positive videos, or even where we, I think funny enough, there were videos videos that I did with you that we talked about things we liked and things we didn't like, and I got some of the nastiest friggin' comments. Like people to this day, I'll get negative comments from our reaction video to the reveal event. And people are like, they're getting like, oh, you guys are so negative. And like, did you see how happy I was when Scarlet came out? And we were just upset that there's only 24 characters again. And there actually was. Well, okay, 25, but yeah.
The problem is like we're consistent and like we don't have the biggest problem with our channels is like we cover a gambit of games, right? So we're not like we do fighting games. Like you do other games that I won't cover because I just don't want to confuse the audience. But like we mostly do fighting games.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, like we're gonna get different genres of characters and people that like all of those different variety of games. So whether I'm covering Tekken or Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur or whatever, or Street Fighter, it's going to be a different group of people. And I expect that. But like when I compare and contrast, it's definitely the Mortal Kombat people that are like the most unwilling to adapt to any change at all.
It's probably because Mortal Kombat's like the most, I guess, mainstream one, and I feel like the more mainstream something is, the more
we can say that now, but it wasn't. Like Mortal Kombat was always the outlier. Like Mortal Kombat was the one that wasn't allowed to have blood on the N64. It wasn't allowed to be like churches like literally had sermons against Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Like your parents did not allow you to play Mortal Kombat. If you went to a friend's house that played Mortal Kombat, you were not allowed to go to that friend's house anymore. Like that's how it was back in the day. Like it became a monolith and like a freaking generational thing, right? To where like now it's mainstream, but that's not how it was. But then we have other innovative titles such as like Soul Calibur that get like thrown to the wayside and get called old fashioned, even though like Street Fighter comes out with shit that's like exactly the same as it's always been, albeit with a separate like world tour mode that once you beat it, you don't want to play it ever again. And like it's, you know what I mean? It's just like it's as a fighting game fan, as like somebody who wants to play these games, I just feel like everything's coming out like Virtual Fighter when I want like a Dead or Alive or a Soul Calibur, even though those last entries were still like without imagination. But you know what I'm saying though, right? Like as somebody who like plays like Under Night In Birth or like something that like Guilty Gear or some of these other like outliers that like nobody even gives a shit about, right? That don't even enter people's minds. It's like there's so much out there to offer, but we keep getting the same stuff from like these big giant corporations, and I'm going to eat the slop up like the fat pig that I am. I'm going to buy it. I'm not saying I'm not going to, right? But
it's like it basically sums it up with the Bob's Burgers quote, like fine, but I'm going to complain the whole time. That's basically
exactly.
You know, I mean, that's how I was with Street Fighter 6, basically.
Like I'm literally getting Mortal Kombat 1 for Carl for his birthday because it's in September, and I'm like, and he was like, no, you can get it on your account because we game share, right? He was like, you can just buy it and I'll download it. I said, no, I have to get it for you on your account because I refuse to have it on my account. Like at this point, I'm just like so like against it. And it sucks. It sucks because I love Mortal Kombat, but like I've heard Ed Boon talk about this stuff. And like I see you getting excited about it. And I'm so happy that you do. Like I know I was there with you when you were like being negative about it, like with me, and then until you got to the neutral. And then you saw more and you started getting hype about it. And I don't want to take that away from you. I love that you're getting hype about that stuff.
I mean, I will say, like, as hyped as I am for the game, I'm not saying there are definitely not things I don't like. I mean, there are certain design or certain aspects I don't like. I mean, I'm okay with the cameo system. I just wish it wasn't the only way to play. And, you know, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel. I wouldn't be surprised if the story mode is just going to focus on the same good guys and all the time, and I might not like it, and I also might not like, you know, because I know I've heard it's slower than MK11. I know they're trying to maybe fix that, but I might not like that either. But I don't know. I guess I've just kind of gotten good at maybe finding some of the more positives to be happy about than the negatives. I mean, I will say, like, I was super hyped with the Rain and Smoke trailer, the Lin Kuei one. I was super hyped with the Umgadi trailer. This is the first trailer since maybe the reveal that I'm like, oh. And it really sucks because it's like it's a character I'm so apathetic about.
See, I actually like Gears a lot.
Yeah, so, I don't. It's not like I don't even like dislike him. I just think he's maybe a character that could have maybe given a break. They could have maybe had him sit out a game.
Well, we had a buffer. We had a buffer, right? So we knew Gears was going to be in the game. Like I specifically knew he was going to be in the game because I knew somebody who play tested the fucking game.
I think I did too. I just thought maybe they would have shown him with someone that we haven't seen in a while. Like maybe they would have shown him with Havoc or something like that.
But why would they fuck up Tanya so bad? Like,
see, and that's another thing I was going to say. They played it so safe with Geras a character that not many people were really requesting to come back, but people like
he looks pretty much
characters
the
like
same, by the way.
yeah, but characters like Tanya and Rain, they kind of took more chances with. So I'm like, and people,
Like
I'm pretty sure
Rain's a
people wanted
magician,
Tanya and
like,
Rain back.
okay, cool, I guess, but like,
I mean, I'm open to that, but it's like it's annoying that you would change that, a character that people are always requesting, but Geras, you just keep like basically exactly the same.
My whole thing was like, if you're gonna make things different, then make them different, right? If you're gonna keep the status quo, then just like say you're gonna keep the status quo. Because like when we first heard we were gonna reboot, but it was gonna be in like the Great Kung Lao era, we're like, awesome, let's fucking see all those people from that past timeline. Let's like see the precursors to all the characters that we have today. But no, they played it safe, and Liu Kang's like, no, I'm just gonna have my favorites.
See, I'm like, I was like,
fucking Takeda, for Christ's sake. Like, I love Takeda. He is my second favorite character from MKX. Kung Jin being my first. So I love him, right? And then the fact that like I found out like he might not even actually be that Takeda. And then,
I mean,
like,
his last name is still Takahashi. I personally think it is.
It could be. Like, it could be. Like, I don't know
Or
why
it could maybe be.
so, like,
I don't think it's a Hanzo, but maybe it could be like, maybe it's like Kenshi's dad, Takeda's grandfather. I don't know. Maybe Takeda was named after his grandpa.
Well, like we said, the first, like, Takeda was named after the founder of the Shiryu, which name was Takeda, right? Was Takeda.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so
that too. I just don't think he's Hanzo. Like, why would like?
They're only saying
Takeda's
that
not
because
a code
other
name like
characters
Scorpion.
now are filling in other characters' spots. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting the classic characters that weren't in this position before now being in this position. Like fucking who's Scorpion now? It's fucking
it's Kuai Lang, the second
I'm sorry for
Sub-Zero.
cursing so much, by the way. It's Kuai Lang,
okay.
right? Oh, you're not monetized anyway, right?
And Sub-Zero is the first Sub-Zero Bihan.
Well, I like
Smoke,
Bihan.
we don't
like,
know.
I'm not upset with that, but and I actually hope that Smoke can get like a spiky hair custom set instead of like the.
I know, just give me the goddamn longer hair. That is one thing I will say. Like, as much as I like some of the designs, like, I don't agree with a lot of the hairstyle choices. Like, what the hell? But
I mean, like I said, I really think we're nitpicking. We're probably going to enjoy the game. We're probably going to play it 1,000 times. Or it could be like Street Fighter, where I play World Tour, and then like afterwards, I haven't touched the game since the game came out, and like now it's sitting there, and I check on GameStop how much I can trade it in for. And I'm like, oh shit, I can get $33 for this game that I don't play. You know what I mean? It's like I want these things to be. I want them to be great. I really do. And like,
I was also going to say, like, here's a bright side you could look at. Like, you probably are going to get it. We probably are going to get Injustice 3. I think that is going to happen. You know, unlike another company, we don't know if they're going to actually branch out and do other fighting game IPs, Capcom. But NetherRealm Studios seems like they do still want to at least do Injustice. I think they were just it was just a lot of bullshit going on.
But can they do justice to Injustice? That's the thing.
I don't know. It just seems like some always bullshit keeps happening, and throwing a wrench in things and messing things up, and
I think there's just like a power pull at NetherRealm under WB, like now that it's owned by Discovery Plus, and there's just like a different ambiance than it was when they were owned by WB as opposed to Discovery Plus. You know what I mean? It's like it feels like Marvel feels different now that it's owned by Disney than when it wasn't.
Yeah.
It just feels different, I think. And I don't think I'm opposed to it. Like, I'm open to change. Like, I'm open-minded to it. I just don't want, like, my biggest things, bro, to be honest, is, like, I don't want the writing to suck, and I don't want, like, the gameplay to suck. That's all I care about. That's really all I care about. Like, you can win me over with a game if, like, you give me a good story and you make the fighting good.
I mean, I will say, like I think I might have said this before, like, the general consensus with a gameplay, at least, is people at least like it more than Mortal Kombat 11. They just wish it was faster. That's like,
well, I played the game.
Yeah,
I physically played the game.
You did get to play it?
Yeah, I played it on a closed. I can't talk to you about it on stream. I'll talk about it after.
No problem.
I physically played the game, like, and I am in close contact, as you know, with certain people. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
That literally are working on the game. So I've had access to the game. I've played the game. Like, I've talked to people that have played the game. Like, it is so slow. It is so slow. It's slow to the point where, like, even when you're dashing, You're not going at the walking speed of MK9.
Well, yeah, the dashing I heard is like the worst part. Yeah.
You're not even going at the walking speed of MK9. Not even the walking speed. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
It's like it's built around the cameo system to the fact that they're like, you need to move slow because they want you to constantly call in these cameos to do stuff. And it's like, cool, I guess I get that, right? But it's like, that takes away more control from the player. You can argue that like calling in cameos actually gives you control. Like, okay, well, I know this character is going to be a ranged person, so if they're going to jump up and do like a ranged blast, I can call in my cameo, let's say like Scorpion, who's going to throw his spear and like cancel that, right? So that's actually going to be part of the gameplay. But meanwhile, your character is so slow moving that you can't close in for a combo, and that's on purpose. Like, that's not like it's like a fault of the game, that's the system. So, but it does extremely slow down the gameplay. And then I have a problem with the story. Like, I'm like, why the hell is Liu Kang like doing all this crap? He's Liu Kang. Like, why is he going out of his way to recreate a universe where like all of the evil in the world still exists? And even though he says that like he just wants to make a like safe place for his homies, but then all of a sudden like he's like putting up against like the baddest of the bads, and like Shao Kahn still exists and Shang Tsung still exists, and freaking it's insane, bro. Like he's a Titan, he has all this power. Raiden never did this. Like, how come Raiden never interfered, except for when he was like Dark Raiden in MKX for like 15 minutes? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I will definitely agree that really made me mad when like Dark Raiden was barely in the story for MK11. Like, ugh.
It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, really.
It was like
if that even.
And he was promoted as like being like a feature. And it was like, okay, cool. I don't know. I like I said, like I'm being all right, for any of you guys that are out there and you're fans of Rich, aka Ragiroth, okay, this is not a regular occurrence. He is very optimistic and he loves these things probably more than I do, and he will give you insightful, evidentiary, committed like things for these games. But I'm going to be as honest as he is when it comes to me. Like that's all it is. So do not make me the reason that you do not subscribe to Rich. Like, you should definitely subscribe to Rich. Like, if you don't like what I have to say, go and unsubscribe from my channel, not from Rich's. But I don't know. I don't think I'm saying anything like that's like really wrong. I'm just trying to.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you're wrong, and I mean, I think a lot of those things that you say, like, I agree with. I think I've just learned is that I agree with a lot of criticism people have about the story and all that. I think it just doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, if that makes sense. Like, big common example is
what bothers me. It's that it doesn't bother like the normal fans, because like we could have the epitome of Mortal Kombat's.
Well, I think another problem too is the writer of the game. He is somebody that doesn't seem like he's taking criticism very well. So people that have tried to kind of reason with him, be like, hey, we don't really like this, maybe, and then they get like blocked on Twitter and all that. So I think that doesn't really help.
Then he's a schlock. He's not a writer. Because like any writer worth their gumption is going to take into consideration other options, even if they're not looking at like the opposition as like potential storylines. They're going to say, okay, I see what you're telling me. So how can I make my story better based on like criticism, right? It's not based on what you're saying in particular. It's just like you can open up your own mind into, and I'm sure you can bring up like articles and stuff based on that, but it's like even friends, like where are his friends? Like, you know, like you write articles all the time. I have problems with your articles you write sometimes, and I voice them to you, and like you'll change and you won't take my consideration into consideration, but you'll be like, okay, now that I know that that's a problem that some people have with my writing, I'll change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with my art. Like whenever I make a comic book, I get tons of like mail about like how my art sucks, and like I won't be like, okay, well I'm not going to do what you want me to do, but like I'll take that in consideration, like how I should change and make it better. You know, so what's the name of the guy that's writing this game?
What was that?
What's the name of the guy that's writing the game?
Oh, Dominic Chincholo?
Dominic
Chiancholo, I think. Yeah.
Dominic Cianciola.
Yeah.
How's the name spelled? Is it like a capital C-I-N capital C?
I think it's Ciancolo.
Oh, that's Italian. That's an Italian name. You should know how to pronounce that. Right? Am I wrong? That's not Italian?
I mean, it does sound Italian. Yeah, yeah. But it's not one I've seen before, to be fair.
I'm not going to do like a Mario voice to like pronounce it, but I mean, it sounds Italian, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, hey, it starts with a C, it ends with an O. You know what I'm saying? Bada bing, bada boom. I did it anyway. Rich is like, we're no longer friends. You're now against my entire culture. I don't know. What do you think? Like, tell me some positives. Actually, hype me up. I want you to hype me up. We're going on this live, right? So like, hype me up. Like, get me into the game. Tell me the positives that I should be hyped up for.
Okay.
I've been friends with you for like over 10 years. Like, you, if anyone can help me, hype me up, you can.
The thing is, I think the things that I'm gonna say are positive. I just don't think you're gonna like.
Yeah, but you know me, so hype me up. Don't tell me the positives that you think you would like. Hype me up because you know me.
Okay.
Just give me 3.
All right. Damn it! I'm just trying to think of something that I know.
Like,
I know it could possibly.
I'm like, all right, I'm good.
I was gonna say. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, you got like Melina. You got Lee May. This after fucking. She has been playable since 2006. She's voiced by Kelly Hu.
You know I love Melina, so I mean, like that's a thing right there. I'm not one of those Melina fans. I ain't saying
yeah.
Like I love Melina, so like she was definitely but the fact now that she's got like Itachi ninja aids and just like transforms into like a common, and like the poor Baraka's got like AIDS now and he's not like an actual like species of person. Like,
I mean, I think that's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool, but I will say if they did that with Reptile, then it would be like, all right, like come on, that's enough with the diseases.
Really? Because the Tarkans are like they're more well known than like Reptile is in the lore.
Well, I'm just saying, like if they did it, if they used the disease thing twice for another form or species, then it'd be like, all right, guys.
You're saying outside of like the human like figures, if like they use that excuse for other species.
Yeah, like using it once, like okay, fine.
I can take that.
You
know.
I can
take that. I do really wish we would get a Melina with just like actual lips and sharp teeth as opposed to like making her mouth all screwed up. Like if you're gonna go that way, then like I mean I'm a Melina fan though, so I'm garbage. Like we're the bottom of the bin, right? But by the way, I'm waiting for your second point. I'm gonna take a shot.
I mean, even if the game is it at least seems like there's a lot more combo potential. That seems to be a very, very common positive for the game I'm hearing and I'm even seeing.
I do like that. I would also like to say that's contingent on like who you actually have as your partner though. That's not
I mean, I've seen some character. I thought I've seen some characters and heard some people say that, you know, characters can do some pretty good cameos. Cameos, some pretty combos on their own too. But obviously, yes, cameos are a part of that.
From what I've seen, though, range is king in this game because there's not a lot of cameos that can actually fight against ranged characters. And because of the movement speed, as slow as it is, ranged characters will literally have the advantage. So unless you're choosing a certain ranged character as your cameo, you can't actually like fight against certain things, especially in like Clash and stuff. So again, I played the actual game, so like I'm like I have a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
Albeit the version I played, I think only had 4 characters, so it's not like I played the entire game, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Convince me, please. Rich is like, well, I'm gonna buy it for you, and I'm like, all right, I'm convinced.
I didn't say that.
It was already my birthday. It's your birthday coming up next. Yours is coming in like 2 weeks. Birthday boy.
Yeah. It's our third point. I just feel like the problem is I don't know everything about the game. That's the other problem.
Well, what has you hyped then?
Well, I think that definitely I can 100%
Minus
say that.
characters.
Minus characters. Okay. I do what I said, the combo potential. I think that's cool. I mean, not that I'm really great at doing combos, but it's cool. I think I'm hyped to
Neither
one
star.
thing that
I suck at Mortal Kombat, so it's neither star.
yeah. Well,
You kick my ass all the time in Mortal Kombat. Let's be fair. This is not Soul Calibur Dead or Alive. Like, you whoop my ass in Mortal Kombat, so you would know more about the combat system than I would. To be fair,
fair a tour.
Or fair minus a tour.
Hold on, I just had the other one. Okay. So even though the cameos I'm kind of divisive on, I kind of like the idea of sort of making kind of themed teams. Like, I thought when I play the beta, I would do like, I'd probably mainly play as like Kenshi and Lee Mei, and then I would use Frost as my cameo, and I could call that team. I know you can't, I think, name them in game, but at least in my head, I'd call them the Deadly Alliance. Get it? Because they debuted in Deadly Alliance, and they're 2 characters. But yeah, I think I'm kind of looking for that, because that's one reason I kind of want to tag, is I like kind of making teams, and obviously I know it's not the same as tag, but it's still like, but it's still cool, like kind of idea of like kind of a duo.
You think it's like a teaser though? It's like cool. I can pick this character, just like at least in Naruto, like after like the 3rd game, like you can actually swap in your characters. Because I remember in Naruto, that pissed me off.
That took 3 games though, to be fair.
Right, but it pissed me. Mortal Kombat. What is this?
It did. It was annoying,
12, bro. This is Mortal Kombat 12.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not every Mortal Kombat was like had like a support system and all that. Naruto had a support system since the beginning.
Well, yeah, true. Since like Ultimate Ninja 1, yeah, you're right. But
and I think also like I think here's my other third thing, and I mean obviously I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Is like one of the reasons I defend Mortal Kombat 11 is just because there's actually shit to do. Like Mortal Kombat does actually prioritize the single player stuff. Well, so I think and I want to say
Soul Calibur does too, but nobody plays the parts of Soul Calibur that are actually single player, like Libra Souls. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So I think I at least can have some faith that at least I'll have a new fighting game that I'll actually have like isn't just like, hey, do the story mode, then go online. Hopefully.
Do you think we'll have like towers? Do you think we'll have like customization back?
I think customization might be back in some form, because they have shown like some characters we've seen them with like different masks on at different times. But I don't know about towers and stuff, because I know people didn't like them in MK11. I mean, I would say like bring them back, but just improve them. But
I like them in MK11. I just didn't like the grind of getting like
I agree with that.
I'd rather like go for what I want to go for. And I don't know. I'm just stupid. I really, really just want this game to be good. And I'm being overly negative and pessimistic about it because I want it to be good, which is like a oxymoron to do. But what am I supposed to do, Rich? What am I supposed to do?
You're not the only person I've heard had these concerns.
I mean, when I make videos, it feels like I am, because I get like 1,900 people online telling me that I'm a dickhead because like I don't want to like worship the ground that Ed Boon works on, even though it had nothing to do with the game. It's like, what do you want me to do?
I mean, I think that's unfortunately just the risk.
They fixed Goro since I played it, so that sounds good.
What was that?
When I played it, Goro was like a midget. And I did not like.
Oh yeah, he was smaller and his face was weird. Yeah.
I was like Fortnite Goro. Like I was not into that. Not that Fortnite's bad. I actually play Fortnite and I like it, but you know what I mean. So have you do you think you've sufficiently convinced me into buying this game?
Probably not, but I'd like to say I helped.
Well, I will buy it regardless, just to play with you and like Shad. And well, actually, I heard Shad's not even buying it. And he works on the game.
Oh, really? Yeah, he didn't. Well, the funny thing is, a lot of people, and that's the funny thing, a lot of people on your Discord don't really seem to be that happy about the game either. So I guess that's another reason why it's like.
Well, there are some purveyors that have beaten into the ground.
Say that again.
I said there are some purveyors that I've beaten to the ground like senseless, but like that being said, it's not that. I just disagree with them and they go back on their word probably because they like me as a YouTuber. So that's not like I can't take really constructive criticism from the people that like now agree with me that didn't before. But I know Shot is straight up like, I'm gonna buy the game for like $20 when it's on sale. Like I'm not before, and I'm like, oh shit, like I can't. And he actually worked on the game, so I don't know. Like he also worked on like Final Fantasy 16. He worked on Resident Evil 2 remake, not 4, 2. So I mean, like I kind of like to take his word at face value for some things, but like I said, there's ways that I played the game. It was only 4 characters, though. It was actually 2 characters and 2 cameos. It was like a very, very, very early version of the game. But, I don't know. Have you played it yet?
No, I unfortunately did not get into the closed beta, but but since I pre-ordered the game, I do have my code for the other beta that'll have Lee May, Johnny, and Frost as a cameo.
Okay. I have a pre-order also, but I don't know if I'm going to keep that pre-order or I'm going to move that to Spider-Man and just buy it digitally on PlayStation. I think I might buy it digitally.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like if I have it and then just like straight up buy it digitally. By the way, speaking of Spider-Man, did you get your Spider-Man from Sony?
What, the collector's edition?
Yeah.
I did get that, yes.
Are you going to buy the game physically as well, or are you just going to stick with it?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is one of my friends, he's going to buy the digital code for me, and then I reserved my physical copy at GameStop. The only issue is because like that code is the deluxe edition, so like I won't have the codes for the deluxe edition stuff separately.
The
so
DLC,
I don't buy that stuff, but whatever. It's a small.
I mean, the statue in the Steelbook case is like the real star of that like game.
And honestly, like I like the pre-order outfits, the deluxe edition outfits. I'm kind of like on.
Yeah,
I don't know if I feel even compelled to buy them right away.
Well,
you know, if you unlock them in game, I might just
we'll be available to buy them later on anyway. So it's not.
Oh yeah. They always do that with the deluxe edition stuff.
Yeah, especially with Spider-Man. Like we're okay with that. But did you hear of any GameStop deluxe version, like not with the statue obviously or anything, but like anything with a steelbook case? I haven't heard anything from my GameStop friends, and I'm on like GameStop Reddit, and like I haven't like heard anything.
Not sure, because I just kind of put a down payment on the standard edition of the game. I didn't really ask about the steelbook or anything like that. I guess because since I'm getting
steelbook with the collectors, right.
Yeah, so but yeah, I'm honestly not sure there. Oh, I guess are we done talking about Mortal Kombat? Because I'm just gonna at least end the recording if we are.
Yeah, we can end there unless you want to bring something else up. Like it's been almost an hour.
That's basically about it.
If you want to make it an even hour and bring something else up. Other than that, like we can just end it and talk.
I'm trying to think.
Do you have any questions for me about like Mortal Kombat at all?
All right. Okay. I actually have a question. All right. So what do you think? All right. What is something, if they did show you about the game, that would kind of
the game?
Yeah. Well, what do you think would kind of change your mind a bit?
Well, first and foremost, always for me be character creation, which we're not going to get. So,
no, I think we might get it. But I could maybe see it just being tied if they do a conquest mode. Like we might not get that character to play as regularly, which I know, wouldn't be as great, but I would like that though.
Kind of like a Street Fighter 6 situation where like we have him to play like in versus, but just not like for the rest of the game kind of deal.
I think at the very least, if they did a conquest mode and they hopefully let you customize your character, I would like to say maybe I don't know. Maybe once you beat the mode, maybe you would unlock your character to use, or something.
At
or
least
maybe
like our verses, like not ranked or anything like that.
At the very least, you would only be able to use them against other people's created characters.
Honestly, that would 100% get me in. If like we had character creation in any capacity, that would get me in.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that too.
Not character customization, because we've had that plenty of times. Character creation, I would play. Character. Especially if it was anything like Mortal Kombat Armageddon's was.
Armageddon's was really good for its time.
Yeah, we can make like Ichigo, Goku, and like freaking Cloud from being like anime 1, 2, and 3. Like
I remember they just flat out had like Goku's
they were like
hair
anime 1, 2, and 3, and that's like
and maybe
who they were.
Sephiroth's or some other long hair,
yeah. But you know what I mean, though, right? It was like anime 1, 2, and 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
Just like straight up B characters. That was cool. Other than that, I think that if they gave us like, this is a really good question because like I'm very pessimistic. Maybe if they gave us a mode where we didn't have to use cameos, if we can have like a straight up 1v1 mode,
I'm with you there.
then I'd be like, okay.
I mean, that unfortunately, I think at least isn't coming in the base game. Maybe I'm
the game
hoping
was built around cameos, so it's kind of hard to expect that.
I'm hoping maybe they'll add it later down the line, kind of how they added like stage fatalities and friendships into MK11. I mean, will they? I don't know, but you know, I agree with that though.
I guess a third thing I would say would probably be like if they added, I guess, other characters that I would want to see. I guess like that's like the last thing I would care about because I'll play as whoever's in the game. Like I'll get to know somebody new. Like I've been a Mitsurugi main in Soul Calibur since like day one, but like Mitsurugi 6, I dropped because like he's not as good as he was before. So I ended up picking up Grow as my main. But so you know what I mean? It's like I'll play as anybody. I'll give anybody a chance. But like as far as characters that I like I already have Melina. I would like Jade back because I love Jade. I don't know if she'll be in the game because she was in the last game, but like I love her.
Could go either way with her, I think.
I'm kind of upset that we don't get like crazy characters in the 2D space like Motaro and stuff, but I feel like they literally made the cameo system around characters like Motaro.
He's definitely going to be a cameo.
Yeah. So I'm just like, even though I actually don't give a shit about Motaro, but I'm just saying like I would like cool.
Hating on my favorite
like
sub boss. Jeez, Mark. No. I mean, he is my favorite sub boss, but yeah.
Well, you must have hated Armageddon where they gave him 2 legs.
I was actually one of the few people that was like, I'm like, okay, I'll take it. He was still fun to play as, but
like,
I mean, I would prefer him with
Jersey Devil, so it's apt.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's if Takeda's actually Takeda, that'd be cool. If Kung Jin came back, I freaking love Kung Jin, and like I was so pissed when like Kung Jin was taken out of Mortal Kombat 11, like when he wasn't involved in Mortal Kombat 11.
I would have definitely preferred him. I mean, you know, Takeda was my favorite combat kid,
I
but I
like
would
Jackie too. Like, I mean, I don't like hate Jackie, and Cassie was like integral to the story, so like we have to have her. But like, if you're gonna give us any, why don't you just give us all 4? Like, you already set them up. Why are you taking them away? And that's your thing with the collector and stuff too. It's just like, why set these characters up and then like expand upon them in the comic books when we're just not gonna be able to play as them in like the next game? It's dumb to me.
That's why I think they got to chill with the new characters because there's just too many at this point. Just take a game, kind of put some characters on we haven't seen in a while, consider them as the new characters, and
this is their chance to do that. But like
exactly, yeah. I mean, and they're so far they've kind of doing that, but we'll see.
You need to fix Tanya's face before I fix it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Damn. I mean, the rumored roster sounds pretty solid.
I've seen the list. It's on my Discord. Have you seen it?
Yeah, actually, could you send me it? Because I want to see what the last 2 characters are on the list you've seen.
Okay. I'll keep talking. I'll send to you right now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, and I mean, obviously, I don't know if there's someone out of that rumored list that would make you really hyped. But yeah, and I think those are 3 very understandable things. I mean, I know one of them, the cameo thing, is unfortunately probably not happening right away.
It's
but
tied in. It's what it is.
Yeah.
I was looking at a Street Fighter list. I'm sorry, so I haven't seen it.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, which I also don't care about at this point. I want Akuma. I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can. I guess we can end this here. Like,
yeah, I'll at least end the recording. Yeah.
Anybody who's watching this to this point, like on the recorded version of the video, I want you to put in the comment section down below justified, and then that way we will know that you got to the end of the video.
Yeah, good idea. But yeah, that's about it. You know, it was a very long-winded reaction video, but I guess let me know what you guys think about the Gyros reveal and all the stuff that was revealed in that trailer. Sorry, I was a little less hyped about it. I mean, I was very hyped the last 2, so do not call me a negative Nancy. But yeah, definitely let us know what you think in the comments below. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it, dislike it. Definitely consider subscribing if you like this video and some of my others, so more people can see my videos. Definitely check out Mark Yoon as well. But once again, thanks for checking out the video. And as I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.